morning and a very warm welcome. You are watching Janata Television and this is English Bulletin with me, Chaitra. The top stories first. NCP UML suspends leaders Nepal and Rawal for 6 months. Chairman Oli says action taken for the move against party leadership. Government decides to close educational institutions for 4 days. Points out to air pollution for the reason for closure. Government reports 141 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases climb to 1,341. Iran and China sign 25-year cooperation agreement. The accord brings Iran into China's Belt and Road Initiative. And Sergio Aguero to leave Manchester City at the end of the season. The 32-year-old striker's contract expires at the end of the season. And now the news in detail. The ruling Nepal Communist Party UML has taken disciplinary action against its leaders Madhav Kumar Nepal and Bhim Rawal. UML Chairman KP Sharma Oli has suspended the two leaders from the party for 6 months. Oli sent separate letters to the two leaders informing them that the action was taken for the move against the party leadership. According to Oli, he took such action as the clarification submitted by the two leaders to the Central Committee meeting in their defense was not satisfactory. The letter mentions that the two leaders have been suspended for 6 months. It further states that the suspension can be reduced if leaders rectify their mistakes. Meanwhile, Supreme Court yesterday has ordered to submit the decision of Cabinet led by leader Madhav Kumar Nepal and Dr. Baburam Bhattarai regarding the Lalita Niwas land scam. Division Bench of Justice Anil Kumar Sinha and Justice Hari Prasad Puyal ordered to submit the original copy of the decision made by the then cabinet. Senior advocate Balkrishnan Neopane had filed a writ petition in the Supreme Court against leader Madhav Kumar Nepal and Dr. Baburam Bhattarai, demanding both the leaders should also be investigated as they were leading the cabinet during the land scam. The government has decided to close all educational institutions for 4 days starting from today. A meeting chaired by Education Minister Gopal Shrestha yesterday decided to shut the educational institutions for 4 days due to the ongoing air pollution. The meeting concluded that the high level of pollution across the country is harmful for the health of students and therefore decided to close the school. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, Deepak Sharma, confirmed that the schools will be closed from March 30 to April 2nd. However, the ministry has said that universities can conduct examinations by adopting safety measures. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 141 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 276,980, while the number of active cases has increased to 1,341. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 272,612 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. The death toll from coronavirus remains constant at 3,027 as no new fatalities were reported yesterday. Nepal is currently among the top 50 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The US tops the list with over 31 million confirmed cases, followed by Brazil with over 12.57 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 128.23 million people across the world and claimed 2.8 million lives. And now the news from Economic Front. Nepal Rashtra Bank has expressed concerns, stating new developments in the field of information technology have also invited new challenges in the banking sector. Speaking at a program organized by Nepal Rashtra Bank yesterday, NRB's Governor Mahaprasad Adhikari informed there are legal loopholes in some matters, which have further added to the challenges. Although enactment of Banking Offence and Punishment Act has significantly helped curtail a number of banking offences, advancement of technology has led to new kind of offences, Adhikari further informed. Current Act needs some revision and amendment for tackling the added hurdles in the banking sector, the Governor added. Other participants of the program also stressed on raising public awareness among consumers regarding increased banking offence. And now the international news. China and Iran, both subject to US sanctions, signed a 25-year cooperation agreement on Saturday to strengthen their long-standing economic and political alliance. Relations between the two countries have now reached the level of strategic partnership. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi was quoted by Iran state media as telling his Iranian counterpart Mohammad Javad Zarif, "Our relations with Iran will not be affected by the current situation, but will be permanent and strategic," Wang said ahead of the televised signing ceremony. The accord brings Iran into China's Belt and Road Initiative, a multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure scheme intended to stretch from East Asia to Europe. The project aims to significantly expand China's economic and political influence and has raised concerns in the United States. China has spoken out often against United States' sanction on Iran and partly contested them. Zarif called it a friend for hard times. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. A record goal scorer, Sergio Aguero, will leave Manchester City at the end of the season, the club has announced. The 32-year-old striker's contract expires at the end of the season, and he has been told it will not be renewed. The Argentine, who signed from Atletico Madrid in 2011, has scored 257 goals in 384 appearances for the club. He will be honoured by a statue at Etihad Stadium alongside a title-winning captain Vincent Kompany and influential playmaker David Silva, who left the club in 2019 and 2020, respectively. The trio played a leading role in City's renaissance, with Aguero famously scoring the injury-time winner against QPR in 2012, which clinched the club's first English title in 44 years. Since then, the striker has helped City win 3 more Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup and 5 League Cups. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin, and the headlines once again. NCP-UML suspends leader Nepalan Rawal for 6 months. Chairman Ali says action taken for the move against party leadership. Government decides to close educational institutions for 4 days, points out to air pollution for the reason for closure. Government reports 141 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases climbed to 1,341. Iran and China sign 25-year cooperation agreement. The accord brings Iran into China's Belt and Road Initiative. And Sergio Aguero to leave Manchester City at the end of the season. The 32-year-old striker's contract expires at the end of the season. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website at janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.